silence. Here on Friday, June the 27th. Someone's about to ruin it though. We'll get back to that in a minute. Yes, it is very late in the PM here on June the 27th for our question of the week / update video, because you know, we always gab a little bit and we had a little chitty chat. Oh boy. Chitty chat. I meant to queue up some pictures here. I didn't, so I didn't quite prepare myself correctly, but Minxie had to get up here and love anyway. But yes, it's very late, almost 11 o'clock. Well, part of it was I had to make sure that my maintenance guy didn't stop by to check in today with my situation that's going on. You want to see something? You want to see something? I can, it's plugged in at the moment, so I can leave it, but oops. Look over there. Look over there. Very Jada Essence Hall. But notice anything missing? Quite a few things missing. Very empty corner. I have a very, very empty corner. Not such an empty room in the other room at the moment. Yes, Minx. Hello, hello. Which I guess I could take you and show you that as well while I'm at it. Oops. I don't know how much taping time I have, but oh, 2 minutes taping time. Yes, all that stuff that was in my corner is now in here. There's all of my movies and my DVD stuff. Yeah, this is pulled out. I have some humidifiers going here in my corners. And if you want to know what my life sounds like at the moment, let me just put this back in here for a minute. So there goes that one. Do your thing. Thank you. And I just dumped these, so that is why they're out. Oop, I just scared Minxie. So, go do your thing. Thank you. Yes, see what I mean about silence? This is what I have been dealing with for the last couple of days, I guess. Since Monday. Maybe not Monday, because he had the first one going, and then he brought in the second smaller one. Yes, I know I have no taping time left, but so see the sounds of silence, and yes, all of this stuff is here, and my bookshelf is in the garbage. Let me just pop these out so that they're not making noise. Shh, 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 shh. Go to bed. Now I'll go do the other one real quick. Do the other one. Yes, my bookshelf. And unfortunately, I have to make it shut up. I have to make it shut up. Thank you. Unfortunately, I did have to throw away some of my movies because there was a mold issue. A pretty major mold issue. Hopefully I can get myself plugged back in here. What are you doing? Do I not have taping time? Oh my god. I'm still going to have to edit this. Apparently. Hold on. Okay. Now we're formatted. All the old data is off my SD card. I don't know if I need a new camera. I don't know if I need a new computer. I need for my SD cards to not fill up so quickly, because I'll plug it in the computer to take off the thing that I need, the file that I need, the whatever I filmed, and for some reason it's well, I just tried to format it on the computer while I had it plugged in, taking out the last clip, and it said it was write protected or what. I couldn't format it because it was write protected, because sometimes I'll plug the SD card, I'll take it from the camera to the laptop, and it'll let me cut the video file from the SD card you know, and other times I have to copy it, so it will leave data on the SD card. Every once in a while I have to format it, no big deal, just an added extra hassle for no reason. When I've had enough hassles this week, as you have seen. So yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on with that, but that's why I was plugged back in. I had plenty of battery, but I didn't have any space on my SD card. It was about to cut me off because it couldn't film anymore. Even though there wasn't that, well, maybe some of the files were bigger on there that got left. I don't know. But anyway, back to my mold, which is exciting. Yeah, because Mom came down last weekend, as you may remember, and I have my Doctor Who boxes that you are sitting on right now, that I keep attempting to knock over. You've seen how my professional, you know, but this is just about the right height for me to sit here and turn myself just the right way to be perfectly in frame. Bloop, 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 bloop. So I was putting those back on top of the bookshelf, because if I leave them on what was, you know, where my VHS shelves were, and my DVD/VCR player/burner, it's in Mom's way. She can't, you know, she can't see all of the TV. So I was putting that back on top of the bookshelf where I store them when Mom is here. And I couldn't find, because I also have the Doctor Who set with Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. And I couldn't find it, and I'm like, did it get pushed back? I wondered, did it fall back behind the, you know, that stack of VHS shelves or whatever? So I looked, because I never do, because there's no reason for me to look back there behind the VHS shelves. And there was these dark spots, these big dark spots back behind there. And Minx had went back there a few times. I mean, it's been a while, you know, she was going back there, which makes me wonder how long this was an issue. I mean, it was apparently getting pretty, I mean, it was pretty bad, you know, to be honest. And I was like, did Minx go back there and pee or something? Because I'm not the best at keeping the litter box clean, I'll admit. But she's never done that before. So it's like, you know, she's never peed anywhere else other than, you know, in the closet. And the closet in my bedroom, for some reason, has tile, which is why, you know, I put the cat litter boxes in the bed, in the not the basement, in the closet of my bedroom, because there's tile in there. You know, the only other place there's tile in this apartment is in the kitchen, and I'm like, I'm not going to leave the litter boxes in the kitchen, so I guess they're going in my closet. You know, so she's never done that before. So I got out my trusty dusty, it's probably dusty, I don't know, flashlight, and I looked back there. It was fuzzy and green. And I'm like, oh my God, I have mold growing in my fucking carpet. You know, like, and I had a lot of it. I've kind of wondered, because in the kitchen, it's always smelt, the cabinets underneath there have always smelt a bit musty to me when I open them up. But there's a guy that came and looked at it, and he said he didn't see anything. Like, I kind of took pictures back in there. I couldn't tell if it was wet or not. Like, this was a long time ago. This was like maybe last year sometime, or the year before, I don't know. Time is all a blur to me. I can't keep track of anything. So the guy did come and look under there, and he said, oh no, he didn't see anything. Well, under my kitchen cabinets, when the guy came just earlier this week, he found this. So that was in my kitchen cabinet, just growing. So that was wonderful and lovely. And validates how I've said it smells musty to me under there this entire time. You know, that was not there before. Of course, there again, I never look in my cabinet either. And, I mean, this wasn't all the way in the back corner. this was probably about around where I have my plates sitting, because my bowls and stuff, like I have them just right underneath. So I would just reach under there when I needed a bowl or plate, whatever, blah blah blah. So I was not looking that far back in there. I had no reason to. Just like with behind my VHS tapes, there was no reason for me to look back there either. And speaking of that, here's the picture. That is what I found behind it. You can see my VHS thingies here, and yeah, there's the mold that was growing behind my VHS thingy. But that was not all. That was not all. It had actually came around the bookshelf. And as you can see, it's all disgusting and grody. And there's these little spore thingies that were starting to... where's the other one? There's the other one. These little spore thingies that were building up, that he said that was really bad news because that's the kind of shit that makes you sick. And as you can see, some of my DVDs got ruined. Luckily, it was just the bottom shelf that got ruined, but it went around, like, these... I mean, these were in plastic, these plastic tubs. Unfortunately, my sister's tapes, all of her old tapes that I've always said, the Kids Incorporated tapes, were on the floor. And the bag had a hole in it. So, unfortunately, the water had seeped into that bag. There was another bag on the floor with some other stuff on it. Some other tapes that I just ended up having to throw away. Because, unfortunately, the bag was wet, and therefore the VHS inside was wet. And, like, they all stuck together, and it's like, ugh. So I hated it, but I ended up having to throw away all those old Kids Incorporated tapes that I was supposed to put on DVD for my sister. See, if I had done that a long time ago, it wouldn't have mattered, because, they would have been on DVD, and they would have been, I don't know, maybe there would have been a way to save them. I don't know. They were just... So, I don't know. But yeah, so it had come around my bookshelf, and I don't know how long this had been growing, So, yeah. Yeah, and a long time ago, once again, this could have been this. I don't even think that was this year. I think that was at least last year. I don't know how long ago this was. There was the mystery puddle that showed up at the corner underneath my stove, and I couldn't tell where the hell it was coming from. Because originally, when the guy came in this week, he thought that it was my my dishwasher that was leaking. That's why he has that pulled out, because there was a bunch of water under there. But then there was like water in the back corner or something. So he went over and he checked my next door neighbor's apartment. And it turned out that over the weekend, they had complained about, like, their air conditioner not working, and it had gotten so bad that there was like a block of ice around something in the on their air conditioner unit, and they had reported it. They unplugged it, they turned it off or whatever, and some work order came in over the weekend. For them to go fix that or take a look at it, go do something with it, and he didn't get that work order. So I guess there's, I don't know if he's the main guy. I don't know, because I guess he has weekends off. So maybe other guys take care of stuff during the weekends, but it wasn't communicated to him that had happened. Because when they turned the air conditioner unit off, like all of that ice that had built up in there like melted, and and he was thinking maybe that's what the problem was, but that mold had been growing for a long time. And like I said, I've always thought it smelt musty under the cabinet in the kitchen. So, and then, like I said, I had that mystery puddle show up underneath the stove that one time. Actually, I think it happened a second time, maybe. But then it's like I couldn't tell like where it was coming from, so I don't necessarily know that their air conditioner unit is what did that, unless it had been, but I guess he said something about their their outlet where the water was supposed to be going from their air conditioner unit was like all clogged up or something. So it had been like backing up or something. But he didn't know how long that had been going on, you know, but I don't know. Like, so who knows? I am leaving that corner empty for the moment, because I don't know if it's going to get wet again. I don't know if there's going to be another leak, or whatever happened before is going to happen again. You know what I mean? And that's what he has, the humidifiers, dehumidifiers, or whatever you call them, running to, you know, suck the water out of you know, because he said there was still water back in the back corner there underneath my dishwasher. So yeah, all that went down after last week's video, because I filmed it on Friday, and I was putting, like I said, my table, my camera table back up on top of the bookshelf when I just happened to look back there. Because I thought that the other box from the Jodie Whittaker set had fallen back behind there. I'm like, where did it go? Did it get pushed back? So if I had looked on top of the bookshelf and saw it, oh, it's up there, no problem. You know, I don't know how much longer that would have grown and become even worse. So, I mean, I guess I'm glad. I don't know how long it was growing to begin with. Obviously a while, because that's gross. But there again, I mean, it's, you know, I can't put that on the, I can't necessarily put that on the, you know, the apartment complex. I can't put that on the landlords or whatever, because if I had noticed it a lot sooner, they would have taken care of the issue a lot sooner. I mean, maybe there's other things in here that have never been fixed. My next door neighbor, they're actually, they used to work overnights with me, but she was saying something about, I think they had some kind of mold in their apartment at one point or something, because something on the ceiling was leaking. And you know, my ceiling, which he when he came in the other day, he admitted something about, he kind of forgot about it, but but he looked at that. I still have the hole in my bathroom, because you know, I had that problem where you know, something from up above was leaking, so maybe that was the issue. Maybe it was but maybe now it's fixed because they fixed the pipe there, and so maybe it was that's causing all of this flooding or whatever, and all of this. I don't know. I don't know how long that had been growing. I don't know for sure that the problem is fixed and that that corner won't get wet again. So I'm gonna leave it empty for now. I mean, obviously, right now the dehumidifiers, humidifiers, whatever, are going. So he said he was going to leave those in here for a few days because they're still pulling out water. So it's good that they don't overflow. Like if they get too full, they'll shut themselves off. Because I asked, because this one here in the front room is apparently smaller than the one. It is the one here. When I take the carton or the thing out, you can tell it's a lot smaller. But because I was wondering about that, like going to work, like I'm going to be gone for 8 hours, 9 hours technically, counting lunch. You know, it's kind of like, so hopefully it doesn't like overflow. But no, apparently they're supposed to shut themselves off if they get to a certain point, if they get too full. So I haven't had, they've still been running when I get home in the morning, so I haven't had to deal with that issue at all. So that's the fun I've been having this week. Moving all that stuff off the bookshelf, and then he came in here. I had to go through them that first day. Well, at least the stuff that was on the bottom shelf. Once I got past that bottom shelf, I was like, well, is this salvageable? Blah 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 blah. You know, I had, some of the stuff, unfortunately, I did have to throw away because it was just too grody. Or it was too, covered. So, some of it I tried to salvage, like my Interstellar 4-5 DVD. It's Daft Punk. They took one of their albums and made like an anime movie out of it. And I looked it up. I'm like, I still need to get another copy someday, because now mine is, I mean, when I wiped it off, you know, some of the cover art like kind of crumbled, whatever, because it was just wet. And I mean, maybe I should have waited to like dry it off. I don't know. But that DVD is worth about $200. So not now, because mine is ruined. You know, the cover of it is ruined. But it's like, yeah, that's not going to be something I'm going to be able to easily replace. I might have to get a new camera before then, depending. This is the original camera I bought when I first started my channel, however many years ago. So, I mean, maybe it's time for it to be going out. See, that's with the SD card issue. I don't know if it's this. I don't know if it's my laptop not reading it correctly. I don't know. I don't know what the issue is. So, but I mean, I guess a new camera couldn't hoit, you know. Though I'm fine with this one. As many times as I've dropped it onto concrete floors, and it's still going strong. So, but yeah, I had to go through those DVDs on that bottom shelf and see what I could salvage. And then, you know, taking all the DVDs off of there. The next morning he came in and moved the bookshelf. We just tossed it in the dumpster because it wasn't salvageable. And then he came in, and I got some spray over the weekend at Menards, some mold spray. The only one that said it was good for carpet. And the guy used it, and he said it was working pretty good. But he came in with like his shampooer, you know. He came in with his shop vac and was like, you know, sucking the water out and everything. So that was like a 2-day process of him doing that. So, you know, fun times. So I wasn't able to, like, you know, get proper rest. Of course, what's proper rest for me anyway? You know, I came home from Parks and Rec, and then, you know, I was having to deal with that. So it's like, oh, man. But at least maybe now and maybe they're going to look into some other issues and make sure there isn't other leaking going on. I don't know. But at least the mold is, for the moment, hopefully forever, dealt with. But other than that, on a lighter note, on a much happier, fun note, I messaged Sean about our Vacay 2025, since he's going with us. I think I'd mentioned that. There was something I mentioned about Vacay 2025, and while we were in the midst of that conversation, he's like, hey, did you keep those days off in July? And I was like, well, I haven't given any of them back so far. So he decided that, you know, to go back to the original plan, to go to St. Louis. So it changed again, because the whole thing was canceled, and then we're like, oh, we're just gonna do a weekend thing, which is now the next weekend, because, you know, it was better for one of us again. For it to be a payday week, you know, or for it to go to the next payday week, whatever, blah blah blah. So we're still doing the city thing. We're still going up there to I think Union Station and the River Steamboat Arabia Museum up there at the River City Market. Like, we're still doing that. It's just a weekend later. But Sean was like, you know, since apparently he took the time off too, I guess. So now we're back doing St. Louis, but it's just going to be Sean and myself. And apparently we were planning on going by Amtrak. I don't remember that facet of this adventure, but apparently we were planning on going by Amtrak because he was looking that up. He's bought the tickets. He found us a place, the Grand Central Inn. One time, because it's an old building from the 1800s, and he's like, oh, it could be haunted. And I looked it up. The first time I looked it up, the AI compilation said yes, there's plenty of stories about this hotel. And then when I looked it up again today, it's like, oh no, there's not any specific stories about the Grand Center Inn in St. Louis. So I'm like, but that's not what you said last night, So, what's the truth? I don't know. The area, some artsy-fartsy area, as Sean put it. I don't know. It's a little bit further away from everything. Oh, excuse me. So, we're going to have to be taking Ubers and whatnot, probably. Or there's a train system there that we're, planning on utilizing to get around. But, so our hotel may or may not be haunted. I don't know. I don't know what the real story is, because I tried to look it up again, and I wasn't getting that same information. So I couldn't find a YouTube video on it. I couldn't find anything online about. So I don't know where AI came up with that information. I don't know. So yeah, there will be another little mini adventure. We're doing that on July 10th. So in 2 weeks, is that 2 weeks from now? And then I think the 19th is when we're doing the city thing, which I'll probably film some of that too. So a couple little mini adventures to come. So that's exciting. But other than that, oh, my plate is here. Let me just toss that over here. I was like, where's my book? My book is buried under a bunch of mail that has gotten laid here. So, but yes, many adventures to come, but today, a question to answer. I haven't looked at it yet because I'm trying to flip the page, and the pages are stuck together. Okay, flip the script. All right. Imagine you wake up and you're the only person on Earth. What do? Fucking celebrate. I fucking hate people. I'm sick of them. I'm done with them. Enjoy the peace and quiet and silence that my life has become. That would be my initial reaction. It's like, wow, it's so quiet here. It's great. I don't have to worry about anyone being in my way. I can, just do whatever I want. Eventually it would come to, come to pass that it's like, oh, I don't have any friends to hang out with, and that would kind of suck. That would, maybe they're all going to come back, Could be like the Thanos snap, eventually that got fixed. No worries. But yes, there's definitely a facet that, I would enjoy, I just walk around naked all the time, all day, every day. Doesn't matter, not that there's much to see anyway. But I just go wherever I want, Put my booty juices on everything, as Scott would say, Good times. Eventually, I would probably have to travel. It would be like The Walking Dead or whatever. Eventually, I would run out of food and stuff. But I could live here in town for a while with Eventually, I would need to figure out how to farm stuff, I guess, or I might just starve. As long as everything continued to work, and I wouldn't run out of electrical, to be able to microwave my food and whatnot. I guess I wouldn't be vlogging anymore. There wouldn't be any reason for me to make videos because there wouldn't be anybody to watch them, So thank you if you're here watching this. But yeah, eventually it would be it would be very confusing at first. I'm like, I don't hear any, I mean, would I be waking up to go to work and it's like, wow, it's really quiet today, nobody's out, you know? Because I wake up at night, you know, I wake up at like 9 p.m. So, you know, would I wake up, you know, or, you know, go try to go to Parks and Rec, you know, waiting for Charles to pick me up, and then he never shows up, and then I text, you know, Mallory or somebody, and it's like nobody responds, and I'm like, well, that's weird, you know, I guess I'm not going to Parks and Rec today, and then just, you know, I don't watch the news anyway, so that doesn't really matter. I try to turn on the news, and then like nobody would be. That would probably be my first indication that something weird was going on. But I don't watch the news, so that wouldn't happen. I'd probably just fall asleep, and then, you know, maybe try to wake up to go, you know, 9 p.m. wake up again, and go to work, and it was like nobody's here. That you know. I guess depending on what time you talk about me waking up, because I wake up twice a day, because I do get a little cat nap in between, you know, the two jobs, but very different experiences, because, you know, if I woke up to go to my regular job, you know, when I got to work and nobody was there, that would be my first indication that it's like, oh, what the fuck, you know, what the fuck. And then I'd be like trying to call people, like, hey, what's going on? Text first, you know. I don't call. Ew, gross. So yes, it would be unfortunate that, you know, my friends were gone, my family was gone, you know. That wouldn't be the greatest part of it. But then it's like, you know, I can just go anywhere and do anything I want, and it's like nobody's going to be in my way. I'm not going to have, you know, people. Like today, I left a comment on something, making a joke. I said something about, I was watching this video about this guy. He was visiting restaurants along Route 66. So he started at, I don't know if he lives in Chicago, I don't know, but he started at some diner in Chicago, and he's doing the Route 66 thing or whatever. And they got to this someplace in Illinois, and he has a friend that's traveling with him. And he ordered a pork tenderloin, and he didn't realize it was going to be a sandwich. And I was like, that's what a pork tenderloin is a sandwich. You know, they were expecting a pork chop, like both of them. And I'm like, so I made some joke about city boys, you know. Like, I was like, what kind of city boys am I dealing with that didn't know a pork tenderloin was going to be a sandwich, you know? And somebody replied to that comment, they're like, I think it's more of a regional thing than a city thing. And I'm like, Yas Queen, like, yes, like, I don't know. Then I had to try to figure out how to explain my joke, and I'm like, people from the Midwest, I guess, are seen as more country, you know. Like I kind of thought of those old Pace Picani commercials where everybody was always mad that they found out the salsa was from New York City, you know. I guess that's not really country. I'm thinking of that specific one with the Cowboys, where they're like, this stuff's made in New York City. New York City. Get a rope, you know, like that's I guess I'm specifically thinking of that Pace Picani commercial, you know, because there was multiple ones. I guess I'm just thinking of the one with the Cowboys, you know. So it's kind of like, I wouldn't have to deal with idiots on the internet at all ever, like people just yelling back and forth and accomplishing nothing. just arguing back and forth, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It just, the world is such a loud place. Like even if you're not hearing a word, like you're reading them, it's just angry responses back and forth about, you know, nothing that's ever going to change. And it's like, I don't know. I wouldn't have to deal with idiots on the internet, which would be nice, I guess. You know, eventually I'd run out of my shows because they wouldn't be making anymore because there wouldn't be any people. I'd get pretty bored. I guess I would have to raid the hotel. No, I'd have to raid the hospital for Eliquis. Not that I know what that is. Hopefully it's all labeled very well. I could just like break into, you know, just make the rounds, do like the Walmart pharmacy. That's where I get my prescription from. Walgreens. There's a CVS in town. Like, you know, take all of their Eliquis. I don't know if I still need it, but it's kind of one of those things, like, now that I'm on it, and that's been a part of my life for almost a year now. This happened at was it the end of July when I had my incident? So it's coming up on a year since prior. But now that it's a part of my life, I'm worried. There's a part of me that's scared to not take it anymore, because I'm like, what if the blood clots come back? Like, what if the Eliquis is what's keeping them at bay? So I would have to. I mean, I have a prescription right now that's good for 60 days, so I wouldn't have to worry about that for a while, as long as I had my prescription refilled recently. But there's a part of me that would initially, like I said, enjoy being the only person on the planet, because there's a lot of people out there, and most of them fucking piss me off. So, very nice, very quiet. There wouldn't be anybody to collect my bills anymore. I wouldn't have to pay bills anymore. So that'd be cool. Wouldn't have to worry about money anymore. I could just go take anything I wanted. Life would be pretty chill. Just saying. Sounds nice. At least until, I needed medical attention or something and didn't know how to fix myself. And I'm like, well, I guess the only person left on the planet isn't going to last very long. But eventually, it'd be like, I'd have to deal with the trauma of once it hit me. Maybe it would take a little bit for reality to set in that, like, hey, all of my friends and family are gone. That's not so great. Because initially it'd just be like, just take my pants off at Walmart. Don't even fucking care. Most people have them half off anyway. There's a website for, the kind of people that shop there. But, so initially I would enjoy the silence and the solitude, and then, reality, as I said, would set in, and I'd be like, oh, well, that kind of sucks. But then eventually I think I'd go back to, like, just doing me, I guess. Sounds good. But yeah, that's that, and that's your update/question for the week. And I guess I'll have to process this through Corel. So I don't know if you're going to see it on Friday, but I filmed it on Friday. Not that that really matters. It's not like I'm doing a daily question this year anyway. It's just a weekly question, so as long as I pump it out at some point, it's not going to be quite as fast as other things I pump out, but, it'll be ready eventually. So yes, there's that, and that couple of adventures, the couple of adventures coming up. So my $5 fun box, I have so many videos that I said I'm going to do, but I haven't done. But I guess that's cool. But this is this video, and it's done. I'm going to put it together, pop my pop my things back in the humidifiers so they can start sucking water again. And I'll see you for when I see you.